was one of the detective chief inspectors. This was my story. I was there when fear first took hold of London's streets. I walked the alleys where others would not. I saw what the fog tried to hide. This is not a tale of rumour or legend. This is a story as I lived it. I was ordered to hunt a monster, a shadow the newspapers would call Jack the Ripper. What you are about to hear is not merely history, it is my confession. These are the streets where I failed to catch him, and these are the souls we must never forget. Every hunt begins with a past. Somewhere in these streets, a boy learned that the night could hide him. Poverty was his cradle, silence his teacher. I believe the darkness claimed him long before he claimed others. By day, he was nothing. By night, he became a shadow among shadows. London's fog became his cloak, and fear his companion. Her name was Mary Ann Nichols. Found beneath a trembling street lamp, we told ourselves it was only another crime of Whitechapel. But the wounds whispered of something far worse. That morning, London learned fear. 8 days later, Annie Chapman was taken. The violence had grown more deliberate, more cruel. We saw then that the killer was learning, and I feared what he would become. Then came the letters. He named himself Jack the Ripper. He mocked us with ink and blood. The killer had become a legend while still alive. On one terrible night, Elizabeth Stride was found first. Her death was swift, almost hurried, as if something had interrupted him. Less than an hour later, we found Catherine Eddowes. The truth could no longer be denied. A monster walked freely through London. London became a city of whispers. Every stranger carried suspicion. Every shadow wore his face. I was summoned to the palace at dawn. Her Majesty herself had spoken my name. She looked upon me with grief and fire in her eyes. "Find this animal," she commanded. "London must not belong to fear." From that moment, this hunt was no longer mine alone. It belonged to the Crown. Yet I remembered her words each night. "Find this animal." I questioned hundreds, walked miles of fog, yet the beast I hunted wore no face, only shadow. One face would not leave my thoughts. Aaron Kosminski, a young Polish barber of Whitechapel. We watched him closely, but the law demanded proof. In my private records, I wrote his name, not for the public, but for history. The last was Mary Jane Kelly. The horror in that room still lives in me. I knew then it was over, not with justice, but with silence. No name, no face, no grave, only a legend born from blood and fog. In the end, I had no name to give her, no man to place in chains. I had only silence, and I feared that even the Crown could not command the darkness away. Long after my bones turned to dust, science uncovered a shawl said to belong to Catherine Eddowes. DNA fades, evidence decays, even science walks the same foggy road I once did. Remember them? Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly. They were not just victims of fear, they were daughters of this city. Who knows, maybe more victims. Their names are the only truth that remains. The Queen ordered me to hunt a monster, but monsters live not in palaces. They live in shadows, and sometimes shadows cannot be caught. Not in my lifetime.
Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this content, support my channel to grow. Please like and subscribe so you can see more of my videos.